Circle of Security is an early intervention program for caregivers who have children ages birth to age 8. And it helps to understand children's behaviors and how it connects to their attachment relationships. The goal of Circle of Security really is to work with the parent to understand better their child's social emotional world and to promote secure attachment. And so we're really working with caregivers' state of mind and how they see themselves and how they see children. So what we do is really help adult people understand the emotional life of young children, in particular when experiences have happened or anything happening in the caregiving environment, whether it's a change of caregivers, any type of adversity that may be affecting the child's development in the relationships. So really focus on the interaction that the child has in the actual physical environment, but more importantly with their primary caregiver, whether that's in the classroom, or the home environment or foster care. So if they're having difficulties either adjusting to environment or experiencing a past experience where they are frightened in their environment or they've had a particular trauma, you might see things, behaviors that are more aggressive than usual, such as throwing objects and hitting and biting. Or you may see a child that might withdraw. So you kind of have two different presentations, whether it's externalizing or internalizing behaviors. So if a child has mastered a certain developmental domain and then you see a regression, that would be a time to refer or be concerned about what's happening with the child's development. Also, grief and loss, I think, is a big reason for referral that people don't, and I think it's related to the change in the caregiving environment for a child who now they were with adult that they was their primary caregiver. Even if that primary caregiving relationship wasn't the best, there's still the attachment and there's still the connection. And when that person is no longer there, it's a really vulnerable place for a child to then have to reconnect and reattach. Domestic violence is another reason that we receive referrals for kids that have witnessed interpersonal violence between family members, have seen family members hurt each other. So our goal in working with young children and their families is to really strengthen the relationship. And so whether that's the parent also themselves needs their own treatment, and then they come together for sessions that are with the both parent and the child, and we're helping give language, we're helping the parent understand the child's world and from their perspective and what they need, what the child might need from the parent in order to kind of move through what's happened or what's been happening in the relationship or in the home. This is Circle Security. This is raising a secure child. So Circle Security groups and facilitators is really learn how to help a parent understand a child's behavior and map it to attachment needs. So we're not just looking at a child's behavior and intervening with behavioral interventions. We're really thinking about what is that behavior communicating about what they need from their caregiver. And so Circle Security, it's an 8-session manualized intervention that takes you through understanding attachment. It's a brilliant job of taking something complicated like attachment theory and pretty quite complex and putting it into one simple visual graph that most of us can understand when we're thinking about needs for exploration and needs for connection for children and how parents show up with their kids to support both of these parts of their attachment system. We spend a lot of time up front in the group trying to really build the trust with the family and with the caregiver, because we know what's coming later on in the later sessions is we're going to now take a look at you. Like, we spend a lot of time setting up what does secure attachment look like. This is what is what we would expect to see in relationships. So this is how attachment works, and then we make a shift where we're no longer like doing observation of children and what their behavior is trying to communicate, but now is how do you respond to that? And what was your caregiving experience like? It is recommended in fidelity to the program to meet weekly for 90 minutes, and those are 8 sessions for 90 minutes. So we're looking at anywhere from 8 to 10 weeks if you run it weekly. Sometimes something like Circle Security might be embedded in another intervention. We have groups running in early learning centers. A lot of groups now are even running on Zoom, so they can be remote learning as well. So the best way to find out about Circle Security groups would be to go on the website, circlesecurityinternational.com, and there you can look for registered providers and find someone that's in your area or in the area where your family is located, and to refer them to.